Hi there, my name is Wendy, and I wanted to share a cautionary tale. Please listen carefully so that if you are ever in this situation, that you can avoid a lot of heartache and pain. I will say, though, that things did work out for the best, though, in the end. Let me start by saying this is a story about my best friend, Dave. Dave and I have been friends since we were children, and we have cheered each other on through everything in life. So when he came to me and told me that he met an amazing girl, I was incredibly happy for him, and I wanted to know everything about this new mystery woman. He told me that her name was Taylor, and that she was a lot like me. He said she was funny, charming, and very pretty. So of course I demanded to meet her, as I wanted to know if maybe I would be good friends with her as well. However, our first meeting didn't exactly go very well.
Wendy, I would like for you to meet Taylor. Taylor, this is my best friend, Wendy.
It's so great to finally meet you. Dave has told me so many good things about you. She looked me up and down and grimaced. I was so confused by the way she was acting that I didn't know what to say next.
Oh, this is Wendy. Yeah, nice to meet you.
After a few minutes of some awkward small talk, I excused myself so I could use the restroom. I didn't really have to go, but I needed to walk away so I could collect my thoughts and figure out if I had somehow offended Taylor without meaning to. However, as I walked away, I overheard Taylor speaking to Dave.
You didn't say that she was that pretty. How am I not supposed to be jealous that you spend so much time with her?
What do you mean? Wendy is like a sister to me. I don't see her that way.
Oh, don't treat me like an idiot. She's hot, and I don't want you spending time with her anymore. It's only a matter of time before she makes a move on you.
She isn't like that. You have nothing to worry about.
Enough! Dave, do as I say, or else.
When I came back to the table, Dave looked really upset and Taylor was fuming. They excused themselves and said that they needed to call it an early night, and after what I had overheard, I understood why. Weeks passed and Dave and I hung out less and less, although he still texted and called me from time to time. It felt like I was losing my friend. Months passed and then I got a text from Dave that completely caught me off guard. In it, Dave mentioned that he and Taylor had gotten engaged. I felt a rush of mixed emotions. Part of me was very happy for my friend, but also saddened because of who he had become engaged to. Another few months passed, and I called up Dave and asked if he wanted to hang out one random night. But he said that he couldn't, that he and Taylor had important plans that he couldn't get out of. It made me incredibly sad, and in an attempt to try to make myself feel better, I decided to head out and try to get myself some ice cream. There is a cute little place near my house that has some amazing flavors that I often go to, and when I arrived, I saw none other than Taylor inside the shop. I was surprised to see that she wasn't alone, though. In fact, she was with a guy I had never seen before, and the two were making out. Even though I was in shock, I quickly pulled out my phone and took some photos of the two of them, and then quickly walked away and instantly called up Dave. Dave, listen, I know that you said, but I also know that it was a lie.
No, it was the truth.
Dave, it's okay. I don't care that it was a lie. I need to see you.
Well, no, I'm busy. Taylor is making dinner right now.
Now I was just beyond annoyed, and I hung up on Dave and disregarded his last words and went across town to his apartment. Without knocking, I let myself in and went and found Dave in his kitchen sitting at the kitchen table. It was clear that he had been crying, and to my surprise, he had a massive black eye and a split lip. From where I was, I could see bruises on his arms as well. Dave, what happened to you?
Wendy? I really didn't want you to see me like this.
Did Taylor do this to you? Dave sheepishly looked down at the table, avoiding my gaze. I could tell that he was incredibly embarrassed. Dave, it's going to be okay. Tell me what happened. After a couple of minutes of heavy breathing, he began to tell me that he and Taylor had been having a lot of fights lately, and that every time they argued, she would get violent and hit him or throw things. The last few times, she had even punched him. When I heard this, I knew that he needed to break off his engagement with Taylor. Dave, you really need to break off the engagement. You deserve better than Taylor. You especially deserve to be with someone that doesn't abuse you.
It's not that simple, though. We really love each other, and she doesn't mean to get so angry.
Does she mean to cheat on you like this? I pulled out my phone and showed him the photos I took, and I could tell that he was furious. After a few minutes, he asked me to leave so that he could think about everything, but he promised that he would call me the next day and let me know what he would have decided. And so I left, but I was incredibly worried. The next day, he did call, but he had not decided. I tried to persuade him to see the light and accept that Taylor was all wrong for him. There were weeks of this. I kept trying to get him to change his mind, but he kept flip-flopping on the decision. It was like that all the way up to the day that they had planned for their wedding. Even though I wasn't invited, I decided to get dressed up and attend just to see if Dave would make the right choice. I hid in one of the back rows and waited for the ceremony to begin, but after an hour, people all around me began to panic. I overheard people whispering that Taylor had shown up, but Dave hadn't. As the time for the ceremony came and passed, people stopped whispering and began to speak openly how they had heard that Dave found out that Taylor had been cheating on him, not only with the guy that I had spotted her with, but several other men as well. Apparently, it wasn't a very well-kept secret that Taylor was a serial cheater. It filled me with such relief to know that Dave had made the right choice and had called off the wedding, and after knowing this, I tried to get up and leave as quietly and stealthily as I could. But some of Taylor's bridesmaids saw me and ran and told her that I was there, and she stormed over to me.
You! This is all your fault! You just couldn't stand that he was going to marry me, that you had to spread rumors about me and sabotage my wedding.
What rumors? I took photos of you cheating on Dave and showed them to him, but I had no idea that you were sleeping with dozens of different men. And I had no idea that you were physically abusive towards him until I saw him the night I showed him proof that you were unfaithful.
More lies! I'll kill you for ruining my wedding!
In her wedding dress, she flung herself at me and tried to wrestle me to the ground so that she could punch and choke me, but I just stepped back, causing her to fall to the ground in front of me. Before she could lunge again, I kicked her right in the face as hard as I could, breaking her nose. Blood shot out and stained her dress as she was launched backwards from my kick. And as she fell hard on the ground, I turned and ran out of the church before her bridesmaids could come after me. I then headed over to Dave's place and found him celebrating with his groomsmen. They had turned their getting ready together party into one dedicated to him, dodging a very dangerous bullet party. When I arrived, he thanked me profusely and promised to never let anyone ever come between us ever again. He swore that if I hadn't had his back and discovered Taylor was cheating on him, that he would more than likely have married her today. And he would have spent the rest of his life being miserable, and more than likely living constantly in fear that she would attack him at any moment. Apparently, when she got home that night that I had showed him the picture, he had waited till she fell asleep, and then he went through her phone and discovered that she had cheated on him with more than 8 different men, and none of them knew about the others. He had known right then that there was no way that he was going to marry her, but he wanted to protect himself and ensure that he got revenge on her, and so he made sure that every bill associated with the wedding was in her name and only her name. He then made plans to clean out their joint bank account and transfer all that money into his personal account, and then changed the locks on his place and had a restraining order filed in her name so that she couldn't get retaliation against him. He also told his parents to boycott his wedding and told them his reason. It was rather genius, really, and sure enough, she tried to come over hours later to scream at him for missing the wedding and for cleaning out the account. As soon as I saw her pull up, I called up the police and reported her, and as she tried to break in, the police that I called showed up and restrained her and dragged her away. She ended up spending the week in jail in her blood-soaked wedding dress because she violated the restraining order. After that, we didn't see her again, but we have heard that she has been married and divorced 4 times since then. She keeps finding men, and after they learn how disloyal she is and how abusive she is, they kick her to the curb. I have no doubt that she will be alone for the rest of her miserable life. As for Dave and I, though, we got right back into being amazing friends, and over time we came to realize that our friendship was becoming something much more. We finally figured out that we loved one another, and that we were perfect for each other, and one day Dave proposed to me, and I said yes. Since then, we are even more inseparable, and have 3 children together as well. So like I said, things did end up working out in the end. I suppose, deep down, I had always known that I loved Dave as more than a friend. I was just taken aback by the knowledge that he felt the same way. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more stories.